Hello and happy early Halloween. We're doing a Halloween costume stream here on my Twitch stream. But if you're watching this right now, you're probably finding it on my YouTube. So welcome. I hope you subscribe to the channel. We are going to be reacting to the Stormgate, the new Stormgate video. This just came out yesterday. I wasn't able to react yesterday because I was casting GSL. So let's get into it.
Our first phases of Stormgate pre-alpha and alpha closed testing have ended, and as we
Okay, I don't know why I have the Chinese language one. Immediately, I like the fact that they're showing a lot of fights. I felt like the trailer that they showed earlier was a little bit of I guess a sleepier trailer that they had. So this is exciting. We're getting battles, we're getting stuff getting killed, things getting blown up. Look at the cat's on the desk. Pickle, go to the cat tree. Go.
Testing starting in early October. We thought it would be fun to recap how testing has been going and to share some of our favorite moments. We started with testing our first faction, the Human Vanguard, in 1 versus 1 competitive only.
This is now you guys are really getting a taste of what the game really looks like. This really does look like a Blizzard RTS. Get the volume up. Yes, absolutely, chat.
First faction, the Human Vanguard, in 1 versus 1 competitive only. Our co-op versus AI mode is coming later this year. These are not marketing betas, but actual playtests of some of our earliest work. Our primary goal in this early phase was to generally...
So this is exciting because if we're going to get more people to get into a new RTS, we need to have co-op. We've got to have campaigns, stuff that is not just for hardcore people like me. Even though if you're watching this, you're probably like me. You probably like 1 versus 1. I like the lonely experience of laddering anonymously against other players, but that's good that they're working on that so that they can get new players to join in.
Stress test the reliability of the game's architecture. We were looking for bugs.
And so I can't remember. So I've actually played in the alpha. And I'm NDA'd, so I know that I can't say anything that's not being shown in this video, but you can see now that there are creeps in the game. So it does, I think, have a little bit more of a StarCraft look, although this map definitely feels more Warcraft 3 just with the trees and the grass and everything. But yeah, there are going to be creeps in the game.
Crashes and testing out matchmaking. And to our surprise, the game has been performing really well, definitely exceeding our expectations at this stage. Even though testing has been much less about balance, right away our players began theory crafting. Sergeant Fluffles tested the most efficient command post placement and charted Bob worker count efficiency.
Oh, I was not actually aware of this. This is really interesting. The workers move very cleanly. And the only reason why I even noticed that is because I've been playing Brood War where the workers don't move efficiently, so there's so much of the early game is just trying to get the probes angled correctly onto the mineral patches.
Another chart details.
But that's interesting that it's actually not perfect. Like there's like some nuance to it still.
Who wins this fight? What do you think? 2 scouts or 1 lancer?
1 lancer.
How about a hedgehog versus an exo?
Car. I don't know. I forgot what this thing's called.
A Vulcan versus 5
I couldn't have
exos?
seen that one coming.
Watching this incredible energy and enthusiasm among players was really exciting for us. On top of this, a ton of strategies began.
Yeah, this was one of the funny things about playing. By the way, I don't think I'm naturally good at RTS games. That might sound silly, but it is not. They don't come naturally to me. Like I need to really get familiar with all the buildings, all the units before I can start to use builds. Honestly, I prefer if someone just gives me a build and I try to run it. But yeah, it was interesting when I got to play to see people really all like within a week mapping out openings. Emerging. I also did mess with the Bob turret rush, although I did not have success with it.
The very first build order shared way back in pre-alpha was, as we should have known for a spiritual successor to StarCraft, the Sentry Gun Rush. Fear Dragon posted this build within hours
Of course he
the start
did.
of testing. That didn't take long. This strategy utilizes Vanguard's unique faction ability to build structures with multiple workers. And yes, the community mapped out the efficiency of this too. Here's how it worked. To start, a Therium refinery was built right away and 4 Bobs were immediately pulled to the enemy base. These workers could quickly
So this is
build
funny because
turrets.
I was trying to do this when I played, but I would, if you guys see my mouse cursor here next to the mini map, Pickle Man, can you get off the desk? I'm making YouTube content. Thank you. I would build the turrets here and then try to go up onto this area and try to like slow push like a super noob cannon rush from StarCraft. But yeah, this one seems to be stronger. And in this iteration, the Bobs could boost the building speed, kind of like the peasants can boost building speed in Warcraft.
Within range of mining and enemy buildings. If not scouted before they arrive at your base, this was very difficult to stop. But what was amazing to see is that even in a limited test, we saw counters emerge to defend this overpowered rush. If scouted, the defender could immediately make a Therium refinery and turret of their own, quicker as it was right in their base, and use another unique Vanguard ability to gain defender's advantage. Bobs could use their overcharge ability to increase their damage and armor in order to win this game of Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
So that overcharge thing, that was a lot like, what is it called in Warcraft 3? I used to cast this game. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Where you turn the peasants into militia. What is the word for that, chat? Militia. It's just called that. Okay. Call to arms. Thank you. That's what I meant.
While it didn't take long,
so it does
for
seem
this
like,
piece of
although
cheese
this
to
looks like
emerge,
Terran,
it
it's
also
taking a
didn't take our
heavy
team long to
inspiration,
make some big balance
ability-wise,
changes that
from
we
the
roll out in our next
Warcraft
phase.
3 humans.
There were many great openers being developed. We were just frankly blown away with what these skilled
I think
players
that
were
this
able
opener was
to,
one
just frankly blown
I
away
saw. Go back. Yeah, the mech opening. I think Ziggy messed with this one to some success.
being developed. We were just frankly blown away with what these skilled players were
What's this build order? Yeah, this is what I was doing. I was running scouts
able to
early.
do with our early build of the game. Basically, all of the prevalent build orders
It's one by Lucifron and Vortex. By the way, getting into a new RTS game, and there's only so many people in the alpha. Like the first person I got paired against was Clem. If you want to really know what it's like to get into the gorilla cage and get manhandled, try playing an RTS game you don't know what the buildings do yet, and you're against Clem.
revolved around capturing creep camps right at the start of the game. When a player successfully defeats one of these camps, a variety of things are rewarded. Some players decided to play it safe and fight uncontested resource camps on their side of the map for an economic head start. Others, however, rushed to defeat a speed camp, which allowed their scouts to catch up to the enemy and prevent their escape. Each player must calculate the risk of taking unit damage and getting surrounded by the enemy versus the reward of gaining valuable power-ups. Creeping was designed to incentivize players to be active on the map, creating key areas of contention, and so far this tug-of-war battle.
So this was something I struggled with. I'm not used to creeping as a StarCraft player. And then when you're creeping, somebody comes up and starts to harass you or try to snipe the creep. So that was an experience.
Battle for map control seems to be working well. The game's engineering performed so well that players were able to host a couple of impromptu pre-alpha and closed alpha tournaments. The pre-alpha tournament was team-based, and Cats, Scarlet, and Awesome Sauce held a watch party for the private Discord group.
Super inefficient here, gonna lose a bunch of units in the process. Turrets are insane as far as damage output is concerned. Obviously with the big disadvantage that they cannot move.
By the way, this always seems to happen in every RTS game where the first build order is making a static building near them and trying to kill them. Like all the way back to cannon rushes and bunker rushes. And even sunken colony rushes were a thing in ZVZ. I mean, it's not good if you know how to play the game, but when people don't know how to play the game, this seems to be like the first thing that happens that has to then be solved so that you get to the phase of the game where you can have units, mobile
and
units.
not to mention all the lost mining time.
Once you have so many Skyriders, your Exos literally do nothing.
In the end, Team B won the tournament with Scarlet clutching the final victory and becoming our pre-alpha.
Oh, Parting was another guy I got manhandled by. I went from Clem to Parting to me playing against the computer for a whole day.
champion.
By the way, Scarlet is definitely, from what everybody says, the best player.
We are super grateful just to all of
it's interesting to see people already fill stuff in.
The testers and players have put into it so far, and I think very humbled as a team to see what you've already done with something that is such an early state of gameplay.
In the next phase, Closed Alpha 1, players hosted their own End of Alpha tournament on Rally Cry, and we assisted their efforts. Players signed up to an open bracket, and it came down to a round of 8. Beowulf and ATO even
What was the round of 8? So we had Parting versus Mana, Black Widow versus Lucifron, Vortex versus Fanhots, Kawayan versus Mixu. So a lot of big names in there.
Beowulf and ATO even hosted their own shoutcast of the matches. Here are some highlights.
See here, he's on 3 bases. He doesn't really have that production. Now the Skyrider bubble gets popped, so Lucifron just has to get on top. He has got to get in right now, otherwise he will lose that third. But the Skyrider bubble has minimized, I think, enough of the damage here, even as Lucifron gets on top of it. So yeah, eventually Lucifron dives on top, but the bubble shields the rest, and it is just so much damage that Lucifron is taking right now.
In the end, it came down to finals between Parting and Kiwian.
Well, we're gonna have
Is it Kiwian? Have I been saying it wrong?
We just don't have the upgrade from Kiwian, so now Parting gets on top here. He senses blood, but he's in the range of the Vulcans, and there are more of them. Watch the Exos fall. That was not the play there, Parting.
Kiwan decided to go up the ramp. He's gonna get the turret kill first, and now the Skyriders can just bubble his own units. And it seems like the Exos from Kiwan are making short work of his opponents. All of those mobs might be overcharged, but they take damage all the same. And the base is very low health right now. With the turret going down, that base going down in the natural, it didn't even get a lot of mining. I could see Parting GGing out of here because that evac didn't have enough damage to sustain him into a victory, and it is gonna be Kiwan winning 2-0 on the finals of the
beating Parting
tournament here today.
When I played Parting, he was so good. He had already had so much stuff figured out. It was insane. It's crazy when you get new players that are the best at a previous RTS game, how quickly they just their minds just meld to the game. It's really incredible.
With all that, we think that testing so far has been incredibly successful and so much fun. We're getting tons of valuable feedback that's leading to a lot of improvements. We're going to continue welcoming more players to each new testing phase. And here's a bit of fun trivia. We've been internally code-naming each testing build based on past real-time strategy units. Apocalypse was what we called our first closed pre-alpha playtest. Then came Baneling, the closed alpha test we just held in August 2023. Luckily, the game didn't blow up. And now for our next testing.
Very good. Luckily, the game didn't blow up in the Baneling test. Very good.
Chronosphere. This is another closed alpha test, and the good news is we have tripled the amount of players invited to test the game. And after much anticipation, we're adding our next playable faction, the Infernals. This early feedback really helps us as a
So this is where I get really excited because now you get the contrast of the different factions. Let me go back a second here. Now this looks a lot more like all right, hold on, the cat's jumping on the desk again. All right, he's up in the cat tree, sorry.
Next playable faction.
This looks a lot more like Orcs. A little bit of Diablo. A touch of Diablo, I guess. But definitely Orcs. Lots of blood. I dig it.
This early feedback really helps us as a team figure out what's working and focus our attention on areas in most need of improvement. We can't wait to get this game into everyone's hands. If you'd like to be considered for this and future testing, sign up for beta on playstormgate.com.
Go sign up, guys. Playstormgate.com.
And if you haven't already, wishlist Stormgate on Steam. See you in battle.
All right. Well, that's very exciting. Whoops, hold on. So, let me go back to the video there. Yeah, look, I think this is really cool. Frost Giant's kind of like lifting up the hood, and you're getting to see what's going on inside. It's been played by a ton of pros and other community members, and so they're starting to sort out, how the races operate. Obviously, whatever iteration of the game comes out next is going to be different, and upon its final release, it's probably going to be very different and probably look different too. But yeah, they've reached out to pros and other community members, and people are already tinkering with the game. Does the game really only have 2 races? No, but they've announced 2 now. So I don't really know game development, but from what I understand, you would start making one race, kind of try to finish that, and then everybody moves over to the next race. They start to design and toy around with ideas. And, there's probably going to be more announcements to come. So, yeah, exciting stuff. There's going to be another Stormgate alpha out soon, and I cannot wait to try the game again. I am NDA'd, so I'm like, I have seen stuff that you haven't seen, and it's not in this video, but I can't say anything. Thank you for joining me for that video with our Halloween costume stream. If you ever want to join my stream live, it's Tasteless TV on Twitch. And please, if you like this kind of content, we'll be doing more stuff with Stormgate, especially when we can actually, like, I can cast games, or I can put videos of me playing the game. There'll be a lot more stuff like that on this channel. So yeah, like the video, subscribe, turn the bell on, all that YouTube stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And do me a favor. Go to tastelessthreads.com. That's my merch store. We've got a lot of cool RTS, esports-related merch, Tasteless-related merch, whatever you like. Not this Bud Light costume. You got to go to Walmart to get that. But if you want to get my merch, go to tastelessthreads.com. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you, hopefully, in a future video soon. Bye-bye.